I'm working with what is known as scalar energy. It's not electricity. And what is scalar energy? Well, other synonymous terms are zero point energy, Tesla energy, chi, prana. So what's my point? There are two energies, there are two dimensions. And I prefer to work with scalar energy because it's much more versatile than that of electricity. So we're going to speak about scalar energy, which is the energy of the cosmos. It originates from the stars. And why am I going to isolate on this energy? Because it is free, first of all, from the stars. It offers us free energy, clean energy, and it can do so many things that electricity cannot do. So with that, I've devoted a career to scalar energy research, or Tesla research, and I have scalar energy instruments. And with those scalar energy instruments, I control that dimension. I can control a scalar wave. And again, this is not electricity, it's not magnetism. So I've developed procedures, I've developed, if you will, programs, protocols using scalar energy to improve animal and human health. And we'll explore what I can do with these instruments. But first I want people to have a firm understanding that this is a new groundbreaking science. And many people, if you've studied Nikola Tesla or a few other scientists who are what I consider to be cutting edge scientists, many of those scientists have discovered that this other energy or this other dimension is responsible for so much phenomenon that we've never been able to firmly grasp.
Hi, I'm Paul speaking for Free Range with Gail of Gaia. Today's program proven to be a real barn burner. Oh my goodness. Tom Paladino and Drake Bailey on the same program. Wow.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And I'm here today with Mr. Drake Bailey, as usual, and also Tom Paladino, a new guest that we're going to have share his important technology with us. And Drake is familiar with the type of technology that he has, and he has something to share with the audience. So, whoever would like to go first, feel free to do so. Okay. Drake has something to say, so we'll let him say something and then we'll go over to you, Tom. Okay?
Okay, fair enough.
As a lot of people know, I'm very familiar with certain sciences that other people aren't, such as how ET flies and all that sort of stuff. What the man's got here, it works. Okay. It's been used in a slightly altered form in the biospheres that they rehab people with upstairs. That's off planet. That's not here. It's off planet. Bear that in mind. The med beds actually operate to an extent within some of the same parameters, but not entirely. If you use the force or the energy itself specifically, and you target certain areas for improvement, they will improve. The energy that the man talks about is similar to telluric waveforms that the planet has within its surface. And once you understand what's going on with all of that, and you find out that we don't have insulation to keep you from getting zapped, then you begin to understand some of the things we fool with. Having said that, I'll let the man take over. Go, Tom.
Okay, Tom, go for it. Explain your scalar technology and equipment and how it works and what you have to offer people.
Okay, Gail, thank you for your time. Drake, that was an astute introduction, and you're right. I'm working with what is known as scalar energy. It's not electricity. And what is scalar energy? Well, other synonymous terms are zero point energy, Tesla energy, chi, prana. So what's my point? There are two energies, there are two dimensions. And I prefer to work with scalar energy because it's much more versatile than that of electricity. So we're going to speak about scalar energy, which is the energy of the cosmos. It originates from the stars. And why am I going to isolate on this energy? Because it it is free. First of all, it's from the stars. It offers us free energy, clean energy, and it can do so many things that electricity cannot do. So with that, I've devoted a career to scalar energy research, or Tesla research, and I have scalar energy instruments. And with those scalar energy instruments, I control that dimension. I can control a scalar wave. And again, this is not electricity, it's not magnetism. So I've developed procedures, I've developed, if you will, programs, protocols using scalar energy to improve animal and human health. And we'll explore what I can do with these instruments. But first I want people to have a firm understanding that this is a new groundbreaking science. And many people, if you've studied Nikola Tesla or a few other scientists who are what I consider to be cutting edge scientists, many of those scientists have discovered that this other energy or this other dimension is responsible for so much phenomenon that we've never been able to firmly grasp. For instance, there are quasars, and those quasars have been denoted as having quantum energy or a different type of energy spectrum. That's true, that's accurate. So those quasars are scalar energy quasars. And that's why quasars do not behave in a normal electromagnetic function. They're not electromagnetic in character. So we're working with the energy of the stars, the quasar energy or Tesla energy, or what some people call 0-point energy. So with that notion in mind, we can proceed forward with our discussion.
Well, it's my understanding that you do, with your scalar energy, you are able to disassemble microbes and various things that may be harmful to people.
Yes.
And that would be pretty important in this day and age, especially with what's going on.
Yes. So let me expand upon that. I have scalar energy instruments that I work with, and those instruments can negate the molecular bonds of viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Because it's come to my attention that any molecular bond is really a scalar bond. So what holds together molecules and atoms is scalar intelligence. And if you have a scalar energy instrument, you can negate those scalar molecular bonds. So what am I saying? A hydrogen bond, a covalent bond, is really held together by scalar instructions, scalar intelligence. So with an instrument, a scalar energy instrument, you have control, mastery over molecular and atomic form. Some people call that transmutation. Centuries ago, they would use the term alchemy. Today, it's a valid scientific principle. And the way you can change molecular form on a dime instantaneously is only by way of a scalar energy instrument. So my scalar energy instruments can take a virus, transmute it, negate the molecular bonds, and then break it down into simpler proteins in a flash, instantaneously. And the way you do that is by way of this consummate control by way of scalar energy. Again, I'm not using electricity to do that. Now, before we get too deep into this, I want to tell the audience that I work with people by way of their photograph. I'm going to hold my photograph up. I actually take emailed photographs of people and place them inside my instrument, because I'm working in the quantum realm, which is the energetic connection. So people will email me photographs from around the world, and I work with people or animals by way of their emailed photograph. And when I place a photograph inside my quantum instrument, then that photograph enjoys that quantum atmosphere. Some people call that quantum entanglement, or the Akashic record, or the presence of the Holy Spirit. And once you're in that quantum dimension, you're no longer bound by space and time, so to speak. So I'm working in a quantum dimension, a scalar energy dimension. I'm not working in an electromagnetic dimension. And with that said, I can work with anybody in the world by way of their photograph and have instantaneous communication with them through this matrix, through this quantum entanglement, if you will. All of that is possible by way of a scalar energy dimension.
You know, what's interesting about that, Tom, is I remember they used to say that the Native Americans didn't like to have their picture taken because they were afraid that it somehow interfered with their energy or what have you. And apparently it is an energy signature.
Yes.
There are a great many peoples on this planet right now that consider taking a picture as stealing your soul.
Yes.
And you got to be careful about not doing that in terms of showing them that they're not only not having it stolen, but whatever is accessed is given back. That makes the difference.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So this is no hobby for me. This is not a toy. And you're absolutely right. And I'm going to hold my photograph up. My photograph is the energetic copy of me. So whatever I'm experiencing, soul, mind, and body right now as a person, my photograph is reporting that identical occurrence, that identical event. So a photograph is the real-time reporting of a person or an animal. So what am I saying? Photographs from people around the world, I capture their soul, mind, and body in the present moment. Scalar energy only works in the present moment. And yes, I capture their soul. Yes, I capture their mind and their body. And I can access their soul, mind, and body by way of this instrument. This is profound. This is a new and emerging science.
Well, that's almost a little scary, isn't it? What if you were in a bad mood that day or something like that? Does that make any difference? Or
Yeah, that's a good point. I always pray when I work with people, when I treat people. My process is standardized. I never deviate from it. And I've told people, I'm not going to sell this technology. I don't want this technology to get in the wrong hands.
well, that's very important because that could be very problematic, I'm sure. They always seem to be able to find a nefarious way to use something.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's important. So, how do you have any pictures or any? What does your instrument look like?
I don't have them really available. Perhaps our next, perhaps our next show, I'll share that with people. But
no show and tell. Come on, man.
Well, I just, let's see. I don't have that readily available.
Well, one of the things that you told me one time that I thought was pretty fascinating, that is when you go into the room where you're running the scalar energy, your cell phone doesn't work.
That's right. And that's a good point. So if I were to take my cell phone close to the scalar energy instrument, the scalar environment, the scalar energy would override the electromagnetic energy. This microwave instrument will be negated by the scalar wave. Meaning what? You either have a functioning scalar energy environment or you have a functional electromagnetic environment. The two don't really coexist. They don't coexist. So my cell phone always cuts out close to my scalar energy instrument. I've brought a laptop computer close to my scalar energy instrument and it won't pick up a signal. I try and move my mouse. The mouse is inoperable. In other words, the scalar energy overrides my computer. It overrides, if you will, my cell phone. In principle, proving that I have a local scalar energy environment. In that local scalar energy environment, it is exclusively scalar energy. And electromagnetic instruments cannot function, cannot recognize scalar energy. So in a scalar energy environment, electromagnetic instruments are essentially inoperable.
Wow, how would that impact something like 5G?
It doesn't matter whether it's 20G.
Or any G. Well,
let me hit you on the head with something, okay?
Yeah.
Scalar technologies been used before the Egyptians were around.
Yes.
And we've found some of the waveguides. And if you don't know what a waveguide is, look it up in your search engine and you'll figure it out. When you have a dimensional shift, which is what scalar causes, right? The dimensional shift becomes one of two things. It either puts you into a different dimension,
Yes.
whatever you're dealing with, or It is a confined, which I imagine this is what Tom's doing, a confined scalar field that allows the access without having somebody go pa-ching and shoot off into Gaia land somewhere. Pretty simple. The same technology that he's talking about right now is the basis for the thought controls that the ET uses on their spaceships. And I'm not going to say a lot more. I could probably end up giving classes and shit, but I'd rather not do that.
I've discovered with these instruments that they do enhance brain waves. They do correct the 7 chakras. So it's not as if I have to program the brain waves. This instrument, this energy automatically downloads into our brain. It automatically balances the 7 meridians, the 7 chakras. So it's self-directed. It's self-appointed. And the point is that this is instructive energy. This is intelligent energy. It's not random. And when I place your photograph inside a scalar energy instrument, it automatically balances your brain waves and your chakras. Why? Because again, it's an embedded code. It is intelligence. It is innately, it has an intelligence about it. So this is the avenue towards higher learning. If everybody had a functioning scalar energy mind, we'd all be super geniuses. And that's the potential. That's one of the outcomes of my research. I want to be able to open up the human mind so we can start using our scalar energy ability. Everybody has a scalar energy mind. And it's just a matter of unlocking that potential.
Wow, that's pretty amazing and awesome, because we seem to be in an environment that downplays that.
Yeah, this is 3D. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, tube. It's experimental. Squeeze them and see what comes out, kind of thing. I'm serious. That's. I dealt with a bunch of the physicists that help set things up. Okay, one of the things they do is they raise the consciousness level.
Yes.
From 1, 2, and 3D or dimension into the higher realms. Okay, now this doesn't take you out of this realm as such. It just simply uses the capability, and this is neat. Let's see, it's sort of like a kaleidoscope of energies. That'd be the closest thing that you can understand in terms of energy being used. What I do, I don't need instruments. I do everything you're talking about. So, but those who can't, who don't have my experience, don't have my knowledge, you need to get in touch with Tom and get yourself right. Plug it in and see what happens.
You're right. Everybody has a mind and a heart, and everybody with that capacity has a scalar energy mind or a scalar energy heart, and everybody has that capability. But we don't capitalize on those gifts from God. Everybody has this, I know everybody has this innate ability, but we've lost the appreciation of the supernatural. Your mind is supernatural. Your heart is supernatural. Use your supernatural gifts. They're scalar gifts. They're gifts. They're gifts of a higher realm.
Tom, if you've got time, I would suggest you start with my books, and it'll give you what I've done for the average dummy. Okay, somebody don't know squat, don't believe in none of it, and wants some kind of proof and see how it works. And that's what my books do. They bring a person from the 0 level, 0 point energy. Well, guess what 0 point energy is? 0 point energy is an infinitely small dot in a sphere, and the sphere, in this case, is controlled by the scalar field, and it keeps it all personal and private, and you get the benefit. So what you're doing is you're invoking powers of creation and a whole bunch of things. When you accomplish these things, when you get into these things, when you find out about you, and that guy has a little thing, he's going to flip the switch, and here we go.
Yeah. And you're right. This is a process of education. So I don't expect people to understand this from the fly. I get it. I've been at this for 45, 50 years. I have a little bit of experience. To be blunt with the audience, you're not going to find many textbooks that really adequately describe scalar energy, because it's a poorly understood, it's a very narrow focus, it's a poorly understood subject. And I've read some books that are completely wrong. Some authors equate scalar energy with electricity. It's not. It's not electricity.
It's a vibration on an intergalactic level.
So this is the beginning of a new and emerging technology. Scalar energy will someday be as popular, if not more popular, than the computer industry.
Yep.
I see what it can do. It is phenomenal. I've never seen technology like this before. I would not have wasted my career pursuing scalar energy if this was a minor footnote in history. It's not. This will change the world.
Cool.
You have had different experiences with large groups of people in other countries and were able to provide remote healing. Isn't that correct, Tom?
Yeah, thank you. I'll give the audience a consideration. I was working with a group in Delhi, India, an HIV/AIDS clinic in Delhi, India. And again, everybody will send me a photograph. People email me photographs. Well, with this group in Delhi, India, I was receiving photographs of people who are HIV positive. They had the HIV virus. And after working with our photographs, many people said they felt better. They were gaining weight. They did not feel so lethargic. Some of those people had taken a PCR test. And invariably, all of those tests came back negative. There was no sign of HIV anymore. Now, with that in mind, I'll let the audience draw the conclusion. What I'm doing can only be explained under the blanket, under the umbrella of scalar energy. You cannot explain this according to Newtonian physics. But, I think it's rather peculiar that everybody that I work with, they no longer have the HIV virus, or they no longer have the herpes virus. Now, again, my work can only be explained and understood under the context of scalar energy. You cannot explain my work by way of Newtonian physics. I'm not working with electricity and magnetism. So what am I saying? There's two physics textbooks. The electromagnetic textbook cannot explain the scalar energy textbook.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but I've been through this with people that's supposed to know, and they got alphabets after their name, and they come off with a whole bunch of bogus BS when they don't know what they're talking about.
No, they don't. Thank you.
Well,
they don't. And
what people don't get is that there are 5 levels total. 5 levels, all right? And we use maybe a half of the first one. That's about all it takes to push the keyboard. And so not being exposed to this, then what I do, and in terms of what I instruct, is to introduce them to the idea that they can interface with something totally different, be it a plant or an animal or somebody that's totally crazy like me. And you get into, you might grin, but it's the truth. I talked to a psychologist when I come back from Vietnam, and he told me I was crazy, so I just accepted it. The thing about this is that people are less understanding and less accepting of things they call miraculous, when most of it is a matter of mechanics, like you use a screwdriver to tighten a screw up with. Well, when you learn how to use the screwdriver, then you got it going. There's the deal. Do you want to spend 3 to 5 years studying this stuff, or would you rather talk to Tom and have him put you in the machine and turn you on, Flip?
It's as simple as that. Thank you. Yeah. So I appreciate that, Drake. And again, there are many brilliant physicists out there, and most of them have devoted a career to electromagnetic study, and that's great. But very few people, including physicists, understand scalar energy, which is a different science. And it abides by different laws and different properties. So
ask them about telluric, ask them about earth currents, telluric current.
When there's two different, there's two sciences, there's two energies. So again, this is an emerging science, God bless, and people will eventually embrace the fact that there's two definitions for reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you something. We've been told that we have been hit with a number of different nanotechs like smart dust and so on and so forth. Is your technology able to disassemble that or to impede it or negate it? Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I have the ability. What I do is I actually take micro photographs, magnified photographs of pathogens, toxins, etc., including nanoparticles, and I place those magnified photographs in my instrument. And whatever I have a photograph of, the instrument will treat. The instrument will work on. So I do have some photographs of nanoparticles that I am able to negate the molecular signal. I am able to negate the molecular bond. The problem is this: nanoparticles, who knows what the New World Order is creating? Nanoparticles are a new science. I don't have all the photographs for nanoparticles. I know it's nefarious. This is their plan to depopulate and kill the world. I get that. Yeah, but I don't have all of the photographs of nanoparticles that I would like to have.
Okay, well, I know some people that operate in that area. I'll see what they can come up with.
Great.
If you'd like, I'll even include some funny ones that ETs come up with. You don't even got this element, and look at it glow in the dark. What's it glowing with? I don't know. And that was the answer from a physicist upstairs. That's the ET that works on space. Yeah, he don't know what it is. Well, okay, so it's not necessary, from what I understand of the science, to have all the pictures.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Yeah. Okay. If you have a community that can provide me micro photographs of these nanoparticles, that's a start. Okay. I'm not saying that's going to be the end all, but you have to start somewhere. Sure.
But I got some people in the military that deal with that stuff. Okay. And they were a part of the cabal, which is supposedly putting this stuff in the shots everybody's getting and all this stuff. So
that's something that would be wonderful if it could be disassembled, because unfortunately it is a demise that is beyond normal science to be able to correct.
What happens is this. Remember, I told you that if you take certain chemical compounds, it shorts out the nanobots. Remember I mentioned that?
I've heard that, yes.
Okay, well, I mentioned it too. Here's the deal. What this man does is he goes directly to the energy level and bypasses all the chemical, physical gobbledygook. And it simplifies things tremendously, because all you do then is adjust the thing to where the waveform is right, and you're good to go.
There you go. You see, this is not a biochemical process. I don't work with the chemistry of the body. I work with the informational field, which is non-physical. I've mentioned this so many times, and some people get it. All of my work is non-physical. It's information. It's information. So, I don't work with drugs. I don't want anything to do with drugs or pharmaceutical products. I simply negate the molecular bonds of harmful substances.
Yeah, but some of them chemicals are awful nice and a lot of fun, I'll tell you.
Free Range with Gail of Gaia and Free Range Productions is proud to partner with C60evo.com, makers of ESS60 products. C60, the carbon-60 molecule, delivers more than 172 times the power of vitamin C as an antioxidant. ESS60 is simply the purest form of C60, a known antiviral, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory remedy that not only works, it is the only C60 molecule that is approved for both internal and external use. ESS60 neutralizes free radicals from cell metabolization and external toxins to help minimize inflammation and maximize detoxification. People report better sleep, more energy and flexibility, and renewed mental clarity when they take ESS60 products. For more information, visit ess60.gailofgaia.com. That is ess60.gailofgaia.com. In keeping with the long-standing tradition of bringing you the very best in information, entertainment, and health-related products, Free Range with Gail of Gaia is pleased to bring you the gold standard in CBD products and resources. Free Range has partnered with CBD Sedona, a full-service CBD resource for the best products and information available. Just visit cbd.gailofgaia.com. That's cbd.gailofgaia.com to learn how to support your health, wellness, complexion, and also support Free Range. CBD is no joke. It's a powerful addition to your wellness routine when accompanied by a consultation with a real CBD professional. Sure, you can find CBD at a smoke shop, hardware, or a grocery store, but can you get the valuable information on CBD use or the quality you can get from people where CBD is all they do? Probably not. Visit cbd.gailofgaia.com. That's cbd.gailofgaia.com today to learn more.
Okay, we won't go there, Drake.
Me? There's a reason that I'm crazy. I got blown up in Vietnam. Dropped when my head was a kid. When I come back from Vietnam, I took drugs. I ain't been right for years. So people get used to me after a while. But the thing is, and I make jokes out of a lot of things. I don't take drugs except for this. I smoke. That's it. Okay. I don't drink. Don't need it. If I want to get high, I just set my mind in a certain course and I get there. Okay. This is the same sort of thing that this man is doing. It's similar to mom knowing when her kid falls off the bike and they're on the other side of the block behind somebody's garage. They know. How is that knowledge transferred? And I speak about this in my books, and a lot of people don't get it.
Is that kind of on the order of when you think about somebody and all of a sudden they're calling you on the phone?
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
The same thing.
An energetic connection of sorts.
Yeah. Well, if you take the energy, the type of energy this man's talking about, you're talking about full invocation of human energamata, the kundalini. All of the chakras are balanced, and you are focused on one singular item. And that's the type of energy that Tom uses in terms of looking at you. In other words, he's not invading your body. He's not taking over your mind or any of that shit. What I understand of it is that it's simply putting things in the order they should have been in all along.
And that's in the quantum field, correct, Tom?
Yes. Yeah. And what's the quantum field? It's the field of perfection. You see, when you're working in the quantum field, everything is already perfect.
Yeah.
It's when you step down to electricity and magnetism, that's where the imperfection comes. So if I had my druthers, everybody would be living here in the spiritual realm, in the quantum realm, not here in the electromagnetic realm, which is entropy.
Mm.
Well, that would be a wonderful realm to be in, because then we would all be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I've always said that in heaven, you're only going to find scalar energy. There's no electricity in heaven. Heaven is perfect. Yeah, heaven is the perfect environment. And I firmly believe there is a heaven, and it's completely quantum energy, scalar energy.
Well, that's interesting, because now they're talking about a quantum financial system. How does that work?
I think that's a misnomer.
Yeah, probably.
Not really. It is a mechanical adaptation of what we're talking about. Exactly that the perfection itself self-perpetuates. That's similar to what a scalar technology does, only it does it in a different way from what we're familiar with is all.
So it'd be totally transparent and totally above board in terms of anything that went on.
To speak to that point, that's what we need. We need a self-perpetuating economy that benefits everybody, that does not just benefit the cabal at the top, an honest economy, a transparent economy where you exchange values. Value for value is exchanged. That's free enterprise, not the bogus system that is in in vogue today, which is really is just a satanic
Everybody's
economic.
just trying to make dollars. They want to make a buck. That's all. They don't care if they got to snitch it out of your wallet.
No.
That's unfortunately the way it is, and it's not fair. It's not just. It's not transparent, and it's not. It's satanic.
Well, the GCR is coming, and that'll rectify a whole bunch of the horse manure problems we've had. The implementation of it now, that's the cool part, where the ideology actually permeates whatever society it is involved in. And I mean, it permeates right down to your reaching in your pocket and seeing whether or not your credit card's still there and stuff.
So there's a new way. There's a new way. This is what we consider. There's a new paradigm. There's a better paradigm. The world model is broke. The paradigms in place, the monopolies in place, are strangling us. So my adage is, let's get away from this mechanistic approach. Let's move away from this new world order approach. Let's create our own economy, our a health system that works, a world structure that works, a legal system that works. You know, we cannot.
They're all broke. Every single one of them that you mentioned.
The world is broken. The models are broken. They're designed to enslave us. They're not designed to free us, to liberate us.
Well, one of the things you have to realize about the 3D test tube stuff is that it is designed to reach a certain point before it fails. Upon its failure, everybody goes, and I mean, they go up. You go from 3 to 4D. Bingo, instant, like flipping the switch and the light come on, kind of thing. And it's not something that a whole lot of people are going to be prepared for. You and I, Tom, will have a whole lot of explaining to do.
I think through this pandemic, people realize, those who are astute enough, that the government doesn't have the answer. And there have been some corrupt governments that are part of the problem. Some corrupt governments are just been manipulated by the elite, by the cabal. So we need a new way. We need new paradigms. We need new answers. You know, they're just, the existing status quo just isn't working. I hope people realize that, and that they've been lied to. I mean, look at the failure.
Everything.
Look at the failure of government and leadership. Look at the failure in the past 2 or 3 years. I don't know why people don't get it. Why they don't wake up. Is this
there is some awakeness coming to the fact that everything's screwed up and broken. That's where, like a municipality, as an example, this is in court right now, by the way. And whether or not states have the right to tell the feds to screw off. And they're beginning to do this in a combination of legislation and in the courts. And what I see is that this is real good preparation, so we don't have a Civil War II and have to shoot everybody that we know or any of that stupid stuff. Okay, the fact that we people been around for a long time, and we have associations with both animals and plants, and we should learn how to converse with those entities in order to get a greater understanding of me. I'm not talking about everybody else, but to my benefit. If I tell an ear of corn and I want it to come out just perfect sweet corn to be eaten, the plant doesn't mind a bit.
Well, the beauty of that, just if I might play on that just a little bit, Drake, is that if you actually put your saliva on the seed, the plant will grow in such a way that it will benefit your DNA. That
exactly.
has been,
and that's what Tom's doing
by Native Americans.
Yeah, well, Tom's got the flipper switcher to get you going by sticking your face in the machine.
Yeah. By the way, I've been experimenting with plants, and I can send nutrients into a plant. And the plants that I've been working with, they are showing exceptional growth, and they're very healthy and they're very sturdy. I've taken diseased plants and diseased trees. I've eradicated the pathogens from those trees. And then I treat the trees or the plants with nutrients. And there is a significant improvement in the what I would consider the crop yield, of what I would consider the vibrant life form of a tree or a plant. So that's another avenue. We can take scalar energy. We can enhance crop yields. So many applications.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
If you want to learn about plants, and it's true of anybody, there's a book called The Secret Life of Plants.
Yes.
Get it and read it. If you haven't,
I've read it.
If you haven't got it, you're missing.
Yeah, I've read it. Tompkins is the author.
Yeah. There's a couple of college students that put that all together, and I've read that thing probably 20 times, and nobody has really lived and understood life until they hear a palm tree or something laugh, or see one dancing in a storm.
I know people that talk to trees.
Well, it depends on what kind of drugs you take, whether you see these things.
No. These aren't people that take drugs. I'm sorry.
Hey, come on. That's from my perspective now.
Okay. Well, that's the book you always bring up whenever I talk about being a vegetarian, and you always bring that up.
If you want
that it's just as bad to eat a plant as it is to eat an animal, and I still don't agree with that. But that's a whole nother different story that we won't go into. I don't want to go there.
The Inuit are scared to death that they may be in big trouble with the Creator because they eat fresh veggies, which is actually consuming the life or the soul of the plants.
Yeah, but plants have a collective energy, quantum energy that is different than just the animal. Because if it's an animal, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say that's a whole different ballgame. But we don't want to go there. I don't want this discussion to go there. Let's keep it on the scalar thing, because it's just a matter of opinion. And
So
people have very strong feelings about that. So
have you found any kind of limitations on this, Tom?
No. And why? Because it's God's energy. There's no limit to God. What do I mean? When I'm working in a scalar energy paradigm, there is no time. There's no past. There's no present. Everything is in the present moment. So there is no parameter of space. There is no parameter of time. There's no obstacles. You transcend time and space. And when you do that, then you are timeless and you're everywhere, so to speak. So in a scalar energy paradigm, everything is in the present moment, and scalar energy fills the universe. So you are present everywhere in the universe at the present moment. It's incredible.
I wouldn't want to get out there and get lost.
Isn't that what they say, though, that we're supposed to live in the now? We're not supposed to live in the past. We're not supposed to live in the future. We're supposed to live in the now.
Right.
Because when you ignore the now, then you lose that moment. You're not dealing with reality. Just live today. Live in the present moment.
Oh.
And that would make people a lot happier because you make the best of the present moment, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously our discussion today has been fluid. Thank you. You're not going to get this on the nightly news. The powers that be do not want you to realize that this technology exists. My research has been suppressed from day one. I follow in the footsteps of men like Nikola Tesla and Galen Hieronymus, incredible pioneers. But very, very little is known about their scalar energy research. Why? Well, if this is going to benefit mankind, why not bring it forward? In a word, it's suppression.
Well, they don't want anybody other than themselves to have the power of control. Simply that, nothing more.
Exactly. And the people are starting to wake up. Again, let the pandemic be a good indication. Look at the failure from all levels. And then ask yourself, is that the leadership I want? I didn't see many true leaders during the pandemic. I saw many great people in the medical field, but at the government level, I did not see much in the way of leadership.
Well,
or in the scientific community trying to figure out this problem, so to speak.
It took people in the medical field who had the guts to stand up and say, wait, this isn't right. And they were frequently immediately suppressed, called a quack, all the different terminology,
right.
liars, anything like that. That
God,
always happens when anyone ever speaks out against the official narrative.
God bless the medical community. I tip my hat. They performed in a stellar fashion, in a heroic fashion.
Frontline doctors.
Yeah. But again, look at our government leaders and look at the failure of government, not just in the United States, around the world. It was a debacle, people. They botched it. Poor leadership. Federal level, state level, local level.
Bought and sold.
Terrible leadership.
You mean Fauci don't know what he's talking about?
Oh, terrible. Well, Fauci and Gates are cousins in this. They're traveling partners, and they're both stupid and evil.
That's absolutely true. I couldn't agree with you more.
Fauci and Gates are just two terrible leaders. Just two very.
But definitely, they're more concerned with their pocketbook than anything else.
And that's what I'm getting at. This pandemic has shown the Achilles heel in our government, and Anthony Fauci is no man of honor. Bill Gates is terrible, just a terrible, evil person.
It just gets worse and worse.
It does. So you have to say, is that leadership? No, that's evil leadership. These people are fools. Fauci is a fool. Gates is a fool.
And someday they will
have to pay the price.
Yeah,
they will pay the piper, or however that goes, because they have misled millions.
Yes,
millions.
Terrible leadership. Terrible leadership.
Yeah,
The Craft. There's a movie about some teenage girls called The Craft, and in it they cover the fact that if you don't abide by what you know are the rules, you have to pay the price, and you can be end up in the nut house or whatever. And, variations are as unlimited as the powers that drive it all. So what I see is that there are several people coming out, such as yourself, Tom, that actually know what they're doing, found out enough to offer this to anybody. And I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes, Tom. Maybe you should tell people about the offer that you have.
Okay. On the bright side of things, we always want to solve problems. I'm all about performance. So my website allows anybody in the world to sign up for 15 days of free sessions. Again, you're going to email us your photograph. We work with your photograph. There are no in-person sessions. The website is scalarlight.com. Visit the website. On the website, you can send in photographs for your entire family, get their permission, and we will work with you, treat your photograph for free for 15 days. We're going to negate those toxins and pathogens in your body. We're going to balance your chakras. We're going to do that for 15 days, and you will feel better. You will see how this quantum healing is meaningful.
That's awesome. Not too many people offer free treatments in this day and age. And so I really hope that the listening audience does take advantage of that, Tom.
Yeah.
Because
we want to help people. That's how we get the information out there. We're all grassroots. Again, Big Brother is not helping us, nor do I solicit their support because of their terrible leadership. But it's all grassroots, and I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Help me get the word out.
Well, the only question I have is how permanent is this stuff? When you do somebody a number and flip the switch,
Yeah. I believe once you're under a scalar energy session, that scalar energy imparted upon you is an indelible character, and it will serve to improve you in some measure. And once you have a scalar wave that's been imparted, remember, scalar energy does not break down; it does not diminish over time. Mm-hmm. The signal never weakens, so it's an internal imprinting.
So, in other words, We're not going to be gigged like all these sucker fish out there that think we're dummies and say, "Hey, we got a pill for you." The only trouble is you got to send us $5 a pill the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the model that I'm trying to break. What I really envision, I want to heal the world. In order to heal the world, essentially, we're going to have to work with most of the people for free, because a lot of people don't have money. I get that. And a lot of people need help. The world is in a dire situation right now. So I'm moving forward to provide free healing to mankind. But I need people to help me. I cannot do this without a grassroots effort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll spread the word. So, Gail, I mean,
I certainly will. Yes.
I can put you on a couple of websites that will definitely have a tendency to be explosive, let's say.
Okay, please do so. Again, it's all grassroots, and let's keep it that way. That way, we don't taint ourselves with government or the cabal getting involved, or the CIA. You know, we don't want those nefarious forces involved.
Yeah.
Definitely. They always leave a dirty path wherever they go.
Oh, they do. Their intention is malignant. They're nefarious minded.
Yes. Yes.
We can't have all your money. What good are you? You become a useless eater.
Exactly. That's what they say. That's what they say. Well, we'll have to prove to them that we're not useless eaters, that we're actually raising the bar for all of humanity through being giving and putting forth the goodness of humanity.
Everybody's made in the image of God, so you cannot have this opinion that some people should live and some people should die. That's
Yeah.
Well, now, I don't know about that. There's some politicians that I would like to definitely squeeze the whatever out of. I think they desperately need it.
Yeah, and this is where I think people need to get involved right at the grassroots level too, from all the way down, all the way up in some capacity, because how else will it ever change?
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
Anyway, I guess is there anything else that anyone wants to share? Because we pretty much have covered quite a bit.
No, thank you both for your lifetime of support and for getting the word out and for educating people. There's a better way to live. The system is broke, people. Let's take a good look at society. We need new answers. I think scalar energy is going to be one of the answers.
The second one is going to be a truly people's government. Now, by that, I mean governance can be cut by, the last study I did, something along the lines of 70 to 90%, and provide twice or three times the services they've provided in the past. So without being controlling, like certain socialist Marxist thingamabobs.
Or nefarious.
Or nasty. You can tell a good politician from a bad one. It's simple. You just look around and watch where they go, okay? And the ones that walk along and everything's fine, that may be, I'm not going to say it is, but it may be a good one. The bad ones leave a slime trail like a big snail.
Sometimes you don't see it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, step in it before it's too late. And then, yeah.
The people have to stand up for their rights.
That's right.
If you elect a politician, that politician represents you. It's very simple. If the politician doesn't do their job, you fire them. It's just like running a company. I say this frequently. Why is it that more people are concerned about a baseball pitcher? If a pitcher cannot perform, you replace him. You have a relief pitcher. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, you replace the poorly performing pitcher. Well, why is it more people are more scrupulous about a baseball game than they are about their government? It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me either, Tom. Not at all.
If you have a poor politician, you fire them. It's so
Right.
simple. If you have an employee, if you're a business owner and you have an employee that's cheating, that's undermining your business, you fire them. What's so difficult here? If you have a politician who's not obeying you, who's undermining your government, your country, you fire them.
It's my understanding. It's my understanding that you can get them on violating their oath of office, and that's how you
Absolutely.
get them out.
That's the quick way. A lot of people like to play recall. That takes forever.
Yeah,
So,
it does. And you know, and shame on the people. If you do have a politician who's not performing, let's face it, these politicians have to perform. And if a politician doesn't perform, well, for God's sake, don't reelect them.
Right, but and I believe in getting them out before a reelection even comes, like we just said about the
would hope.
violation of oath of office, because
I would hope.
all you have to do is serve that on them, and I guess the hard part is enforcement. You know, getting the people
things.
behind you. What'd you say?
there's only two things that makes any difference in all this. First of all, most people are somewhat leery and somewhat afraid, not really scared badly, of succeeding in what they do.
Yeah.
And
Fear of
they're
success?
afraid they will
Is that what you're saying?
succeed. That's why people don't go after their dreams. They're afraid that they might actually get what they're asking for. Oh my goodness, you know. Anyway, most people, and people that have been around the block a couple of times and been through some of this, know about the legalities involved and how you get trampled if you ain't real careful. The powers that be have a lot of power, and you got to be able to circumvent it. So my advice to anybody who wants to take on these sorts of things is don't ever put yourself up front. You put the law up front. This guy violated his oath of office. It's illegal, and he can no longer hold his office when you negate it. So you got to be very well aware of what you can do. The real bad part is that because of the fear that everybody has, they won't try something new. Oh, you get involved with those people, you're some kind of shag nasty. Well, no, If you're doing something that's righteous, I don't care what it is. If it's scalar energy, that's fine. If it's having a show and exposing scalar energy to the masses, that's good. That gets some people interested. Okay, here's the thing. Everybody at one point or another has to take the same leap of faith that a lot of people have taken and step out on something that doesn't look like it's there. God says it is. You know it's there, but you don't see nothing. Ooh. Well, I would suggest that you do two things. Get yourself together. Suck it up, grit your teeth, whatever you got to do, and get in touch with Tom. He'll help you out.
That's good, Drake. Thank you for that.
I couldn't resist. I get my podium. I get my Southern Baptist preacher going. I really get ready.
Well, I'd like to thank you both, and thank you, Tom, so much for sharing this wonderful energy with so many people, and so many of them you're doing it for free. And anybody that's willing and can support Tom definitely should. We want to heal the world, and that's the mission here. And Drake's on board with that as well. So let it be, and let's do it.
Let it be. I remember that song.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why that came to my mind, but it did. But anyway, thank you. And I think any final words we can all say thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening, everyone. And
we're going to make this a better world. It's a grassroots effort, and it starts with people like of our ilk. Thank you both.
And Tom's got some fertilizer that you won't believe.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you both.
This program is not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease and should not be considered medical advice. The statements herein have not been evaluated by the FDA. The opinions expressed are those of the guests and not necessarily the opinions of Free Range, its producers, principals, or staff. Viewers are directed to consult professional sources before acting on any information presented here.